So here is a briefing of what happened in court today as Nnamdi Kanu arrived for his case. And of course, the DSS presented another witness who was questioned by Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Agabi SAN. And also overall is that the case was adjourned till Wednesday and Thursday next week, which is 22nd and 21st. Now, the lawyer was asking the witness brought by the DSS, whom I also assume is also a DSS officer, because he was the person who interviewed Nnamdi Kanu. I think the first interview they granted Nnamdi Kanu was the person who interviewed Nnamdi Kanu. He was asked questions based on that interview, and the first question was, you obtained a video statement from Nnamdi Kanu, and he said yes. Now, as the interrogation went further, he was asked so many questions concerning human rights abuse and everything, and the lawyer was asking him, do you know that you have kept Nnamdi Kanu on solitary confinement for too long? And he said he doesn't know. So the lawyer asked him a question saying, can you tell me how many days a person can be legally held in solitary confinement? He said, according to United Nations law, that is, the witness was answering that according to United Nations law, it is supposed to be 15 days. Then Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer asked him, do you know that this young man, you people have held him in solitary confinement for the period of 6 years, since 2015, that you people kidnapped him? And he said he's not aware. He said, okay, who are you? He said he's an investigator. So he is obviously a DSS investigator, as he answered. So he said he's just an investigator, that he is not part of the people who was in charge of the case, that he's just an investigator. He said, okay. The lawyer said, okay. So the lawyer went on to ask him questions about how many interviews did you grant on Nnamdi Kanu in the course of your investigation? He said it's more than one, but he has tendered the one that was requested here in court as exhibit, but other one is in his office. Well, overall, the case continued, and then the lawyer asked him a very vital question again. He said, do you know that the cases you people brought against this young man, that so many of them has been amended multiple times by you people, by the Attorney General of the Federation, and a lot of the charges has also been struck out by the court. So many has been removed from the charges. He said that he's not aware, that he's just an investigator. Okay. The lawyer continued and said, okay, so you people, I think the initial charges was about 30 something, then it was brought down to 15 after the first hearing. The judges struck out 15, it remained 15. They came back again, they struck out 7, it remained 8, or 8, it remained 7. Then they struck out the entire cases at some point, and he was supposed to be discharged. That was when they discharged him, but the DSS refused to release him and amended their case and brought back the case to 7 again. The judge also still struck out the 7 down to 3. And then so the lawyer asked the witness, he said, do you know that you people have only just 3 charges after several amendments against this young man? He said he's not aware. Anyway, at the end of the day, the case was adjourned, and then Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, lead lawyer, which is Barrister Aloy Ejimako, said he, Gabi SAN, and other legal team has been trying to meet with Nnamdi Kanu severally, but the DSS has refused them access to him, whom is their client. So after making that complaint in court, the court concluded and gave adjournment till next week.
There's an Igbo problem in Nigeria. That's why they're holding Nnamdi Kanu.
What's your take on
for asking
Nnamdi Kanu's
for
perpetual
Biafra?
detention?
And then we are rehabilitating Boko Haram commanders. You said 120,000 of them have surrendered with foreign currency in their hand. And you have rehabilitated them. But one guy who says, oh, we want justice, we don't want to stay in Nigeria, you are holding him perpetually, using the judiciary or judicial, subterfuge to keep the trial. And everybody who knows what they are doing understand that it's not a judicial matter.
So Nnamdi is essentially a political prisoner.
He's a political hostage. Well, I'll call him not a political because he may not. Whomever is in power, except me, will keep him in jail.
So do you think that Igbos generally are endangered species in Nigeria? Going back what you just narrated.
The truth, that's the truth. Nigeria did not forgive Igbos since the end of the Civil War.
What did they do?
Because they challenged the real estate of the British called Nigeria. So, and they didn't forgive them since then. So everything has been done after that. We know this is the unspoken truth about the country called Nigeria, that they did not forgive Igbos for the Civil War.
The Igbos were the victims and they have forgiven the victims. So why is it difficult for the victors to...
You are preaching to the choir.
And because he had mentioned once that, in an interview once, he had mentioned that the Igbos will never be president of Nigeria. That is a perpetual, narration to keep the Igbos where they are.
Yeah, so no, it's not about even the presidency. If they find an Igbo man that is malleable, that can work in their interests, they can make him president if he doesn't have any power. You can be a president of, you can be a president of Nigeria and not have the powers of the president. When they wanted to destroy the landmark, who was the minister in charge? It's not an Igbo man.
And Moka is Igbo speaking, also fighting.
It's easier for them to use an Igbo man to carry out. If it was done by a Yoruba man, the uproar would have been worse. But you find an Igbo minister of works to help you demolish Igbo businessmen. You say, can't you see them? So it's easier that way. It's manipulation. It's how Nigeria manipulates people. But I'm not saying that if he was a Yoruba minister, he cannot demolish. They will do it too. It's easy. Anybody could have done it as long as there's an agreement to do it. Because beyond just ethnicity, there's also an elite conspiracy against Nigerian people. So an average poor person is endangered. But you are likely more endangered if you have committed a generational crime against the Nigerian real estate owned by
being an Igbo man.
Of course, that's the truth. That's why you were saying, oh, you are Yoruba man. If based on what I say, they even tell me I'm not Yoruba enough. But I'm of mixed heritage. There's a part of me that is Ijo.
Okay.
And we are the Ijo speaking Yorubas. We are the Yoruba speaking Ijos in Ondo State.
Okay.
So they call us Ijo Apoy.
Ilaje area.
No, it's Ilaje. So we're next to Ilaje.
Okay.
But my great grandparents came from Yoruba side of things. But the stream that Sowore is named after is in Ijebu waterside. Because that's how they came. So, but I don't speak to people based on ethnicity. I don't define myself based on my ethnic heritage, even though I do not deny it. But because it underlies our humanity to be assigned an ethnic position before you can be respected. Are you getting my point? Or before your views can carry on, so you have to be a Yoruba man. And then it was,
So we've had
here comes one of them.
We've had Rwanda manage the same ethnic issue in their country with the Hutsi Tutsi thing after years of genocide.
Are you sure they managed it?
Well, to a reasonable extent.
They have to manage it through genocide. And Nigeria
after genocide management.
So this is what you should understand.
Okay.
Nigeria also managed the Igbo problem through genocide. 4 million Igbos.
I was coming to that.
Is that not genocide? But you know the problem I have sometimes even with some of our people is that the same people who shot and killed them are more popular in their midst than those who support their rights. The Obasanjos of this world are embraced as authentic people, but these are the people who went and used third commando to massacre Igbos. What did they name this airport after? Murtala Mohammed, one of the most notorious killers of Igbos. Buhari, they kill Igbos. Danjuma, they kill Igbos. Gowon, they kill Igbos. But They even love them more than they love those of us who are fighting. People challenge me that, they hate me because I support Nnamdi Kanu. And I said, so be it. Because I know that I'm supporting justice. And I cannot support injustice because I want political favors from a country. If you want to keep carrying out genocide of political nature or continuation of it, you can go ahead. Keep voting for the criminals who are perpetrating it. Let the forest be voting for the axe because the handle is from one of them.
Okay. I said something. I would like you to touch more on it. I mean, the Igbos were the victims. Now they are forgiven the victors. There is no place you don't find the footprints of Igbos across the length and breadth.
That's why I say you are preaching to the choir. It's not, Igbos are not only in Nigeria, they're all over the world. I went to Alabama in the US, and the only pharmacist there is an Igbo man. Selma, Alabama. You've heard about Selma.
Yeah.
It's one of the homes of the civil rights movement, where they cross that Petra Bridge.
Exactly.
Igbo man is there. Most likely that's what you find in every community in the US. Igbos are distributed all over the world. There's this urban legend that if Igbos cannot live in a place, the place is not livable. There was a time, a New York Times reporter came to Gamboru, Gala, after Boko Haram sacked the place. The only person they found there who was not a Boko Haram member was an Igbo pharmacist. So what are you doing here? He said, well, somebody has to treat them. He was that courageous enough to stay there. So I'm saying all these things so that you can understand that I understand probably more consciously better than most people do. And that informs the reason I can speak categorically about the victimization of Igbo. Otherwise, it is a taboo. Politically, it is incorrect to say that Igbos are victimized by an average Nigerian.
Okay. All right. So let's
move straight. Because nobody wants to hear the truth. And when you say, if somebody's watching me and I get out of this, Sowore, what's your problem now? Leave these Igbo people alone. You understand? That is the truth. But I cannot, my conscience cannot allow me to accommodate the genocide of 3 million people, or 4 million people, and then the continuation of that denunciation of the existence through persecution in which the Nigerian state is carrying out, either through Landmark or Nnamdi Kanu or, look, I told a story, I think it was on a Honest Punch, that in this country, there was a time they were beheading Igbos, putting their heads in calabash and putting on the trains going east.
Do you think that's what's happening in the East right now? Speaking about militarization in the East.
Pogrom, you understand? And that's why they're doing it. It's what they're doing. When we did August, what did we ask for? Demilitarization of the East and release of Nnamdi Kanu was one of our demands. But it was the most denounced demands, even by human rights people. They told us, no, don't include Kanu in your demands. Otherwise, we will not join you. Because Nigeria has been made to believe that a crime committed against Igbo doesn't fall under human rights abuse.
So let's speak about that crime against Igbo, because a popular, I think I read in your paper recently.
And unfortunately the Ohanese people said they should not join the protests, that they are negotiating with Tinubu. They even said that he will release him for Christmas gift, as if he's a Christmas goat.
All right, so speaking about this militarization of the Southeast, recently I read in your platform, a popular media mogul, owner of a media platform in Lagos State, was dehumanized in the Southeast. He was traveling through Anambra State to Asaba Airport, and he was accosted. He and about 3 DSS officials were accosted by military personnel who dehumanized them, told them to lie on the floor. In fact, told them they were going to shoot at them, told them that they were IPOB. Do you think there has been accusations that most of the people killed in the Southeast in the guise of IPOB are really not IPOB, that they were killed by military? Do you think that this is exactly what's happening?
These guys are burning down villages, Nigerian army. They are burning down villages. Like, if you are 17 years old in the East, you carry any kind of hairstyle and you run into a military checkpoint, you are automatically targeted. It's profiling.
Oh, wow.
You understand? But go to Katsina, listen to this before we end this broadcast. The governor in Katsina said a whole local government with tons of bandits have only 5 policemen in their area. They have only 1 vehicle, no military. But there are bandits all over the place. Why is it that banditry and terrorism in the north is treated with kid gloves, and people who are asking for what is recognized by the United Nations as self-governance, the request for self-governance, is treated as a crime against the state? But terrorism is not treated the same way in the East. I traveled in the northern part of Nigeria during the election in 2019 and also in 2023. You can drive all the way from some of the most, bandits havens.
Dangerous points.
Dangerous points. And there will be no policeman or army on the way.
Okay.
But you cannot travel in the East today. Is 1 kilometer, 1 military battalion.
Unfortunately, that is what it is. Before we leave,
Yes.
can I ask you a personal question?
Go ahead.
You have we have spoken a lot here, and you are more like a definition of speaking truth to power. Oh, Sowore, do you fear for your life?
It's too late. My life had been taken several times to the point that all I'm dedicated to is living my life one day at a time. And the reason is this. When I was leaving the university, I did not know, I left the university at the age of 24, 25. I did not know that I would make it up to 30. So I used to say at that time that I was living on borrowed times. I'm 54 now. If I die today and an autopsy is performed on me, they will find the heart of a 90-year-old man inside my body, because it's been a lot. My heart has carried a lot of pain and anguish. But I've carried on, and as a result, I cannot be afraid of my shadows when people who didn't even do half of what I've done have died of preventable diseases, some malaria. So people like me are lucky. And if you look at the life expectancy of a Nigerian man, I think it's now
50 something, 56,
54.
56.
So I've lived a few